Good morning. Good morning. Welcome or welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Wednesday, June the 4th. We are here to look at the new releases that have been published this week. And on Wednesdays, we look at romance. Quick announcements. I don't have any sprints tonight. Our next sprints are tomorrow night, Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. They go for 2.5 hours. We do every Tuesday and Thursday evenings and Saturday afternoons. Let us jump into love. Well, Mary, this is as close as I could get to a pretty dress one today. We do not have a great abundance today of that kind of genre. To Love a Spy, Mrs. Merlin's Academy for Extraordinary Young Ladies, book number 4 by Andrea Pickens. When a mission of critical importance arises, Lord Lindsley, the enigmatic, right off the bat, drinking game, head of Mrs. Merlin's Academy for Extraordinary Young Ladies, is forced to take on the assignment himself. But when things take an unexpected turn, he has no choice but to ask for help from a former agent whose injury during a botched mission 10 years ago forced her to retire from the elite unit of unconventional lady spies. Can old wounds, both physical and emotional, be put aside in order for them to work together to destroy a new weapon that may give Napoleon and the French an unsurmountable edge in the war against Britain and its allies? The mission takes them into the heart of enemy territory where danger threatens from all angles, and to have any hope of survival, they will have to put aside old hurts and trust each other. Color me intrigued. I like the time period. I like spies. Spies like us. The Summer That Changed Everything by Brenda Novak. This is a new one. It's been 15 years since Lucy Sinclair saw her father, 15 long years since she sat in a courtroom and watched him sentenced to life in prison. He murdered 3 victims, all people she knew, which ruined her life at just 17. But now she's back in Virginia to talk to him, wondering if there's more to the story of what happened that fateful night. An old flame, Ford Wagner, makes his own return to Northampton Beach, fleeing a marriage that seems destined for divorce. He's wary of Lucy and her digging into the past, but the more time they spend together, the closer they get. He's married, and the more he finds himself reconsidering the truth behind the death of their mutual friend that summer. Problem is, there are plenty of those in the small coastal town who would prefer things to stay quiet. He's still married. That is a peeve that is a pet of mine. It is a pet peeve. The Other Side of Now by Paige Harbison. With a leading role on a hit TV show and a relationship with Hollywood's latest heartthrob, Meg Bryan appears to have everything she ever wanted. But underneath, her happiness is as fake as her stage name, Alana Lord. Following a tiny nervous breakdown at her 30th birthday party, she books an impromptu trip to Ireland, specifically to the village where she and her best friend Amy always dreamt of moving. When Meg arrives, the people in town don't just recognize her, they seem to know her. She quickly, reluctantly realizes she has somehow slipped into an alternate reality, one where she did move to Ireland as a teenager, one where she never got famous, and most shockingly of all, one where Amy is alive and well. She just wants nothing to do with Meg. Despite her bewilderment, Meg is clear-eyed about one thing. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance to reconnect with her friend and repair what she broke, or else risk losing Amy all over again. Now, this one I would categorize as women's fiction that I'm starting to include here. There's a lot of those, and I just don't know where to put them, so I'm putting them in with romance. Romance and women's fiction, I guess, is the category they fall into. The Lost Book of First Loves by Rayanne Thane. Another name in romance. I think this also kind of fell under women's fiction. Raised by her literary icon father Carson Wells, Allison Wells always felt loved even though her mother died when she was a teen. But when she takes a DNA test on a whim and discovers she has a sister she never knew about, it's clear there are things her father didn't tell her before he died. Determined to meet Juniper, her half-sister, and unravel the truth of what happened all those years ago, Allie finds herself taking a job as Juniper's intern. She'll eventually figure out a way to tell Juniper the truth of their relationship, but she never could have imagined what would happen next. Juniper Connolly has always been incredibly healthy until she wakes up in the hospital after experiencing cardiac arrest with her new and recently fired intern to thank for saving her life. It's clear June needs to de-stress her life a little, so when Allie offers her the use of her family's cabin in a small Wyoming town, June has no reason not to go, but when she arrives, her life will never be the same. Under the wide open spaces of the Wyoming summer sun, Allie and June will untangle the secrets and lies their lives are built on to discover who they really are and what family really means. But even more than that, they'll build a real relationship with one another and finally become sisters. End of row one. The Friendship Fling by Georgia Stone. Good morning, Mary. Happy Wednesday indeed. How was your day at the library yesterday? Did any of them follow you home? No one would ever call Ava Monroe a people person, which isn't ideal for a barista in a busy London coffee shop. She's sarcastic, blunt, and cynical, and her relationships are strictly no strings attached. With her best friend Josie soon leaving for a year, Ava knows she'll be all alone unless she shakes up her routine, but she can't risk bringing Chance back into her carefully controlled life. Then, insufferably cheerful, country-hopping, undeniably gorgeous Finn O'Callaghan rolls into her coffee shop with a horrifying proposal, a strictly friends-only summer fling. Hi, want to have a fling for this? There, Finn needs a local to help him complete his London bucket list, and Ava needs to reassure Josie she won't be on her own, and it's only for a few months. To Ava's surprise, their mismatched friendship of convenience becomes oddly tolerable. Making out with you is tolerable. As they work their way through Finn's list and around the sun-drenched city, from rooftops and floating bars to nights at the museum, their adventures and Finn's company start to feel nice. Incredibly, terrifyingly, dangerously nice. Still, rules are rules. Ava has good reasons for them, and as the days get shorter, Finn's departure gets closer, because that's the thing about summer. It always ends, right? Sunset by Sharon. I've always said it's Selah. It could be different. I apologize if it is different. Book 1 in Crossroads. World champion bull rider Sonny, they always are named Blue Jacket, was bucked off a bull and critically injured. He died twice on the operating table and then survived. Now retired from the rodeo circuit, Sonny is living with his brother and family in Oklahoma when he inherits a horse ranch outside a little town in West Texas called Crossroads. Of course he does. The first person he meets upon arrival is an intriguing waitress named Maggie Brennan. Just call her Maggie. I hate it when they do that. Who works in a cafe called the Yellow Rose. Their attraction is instant, but it isn't until much later that Sonny discovers Maggie's secret talent for painting, and a whole new opportunity for Maggie opens as a result of Sonny's supportive urging. Their relationship grows as Sonny wades through taking over the inherited ranch, horses, truck, and property. He's finally finding his place within the surrounding community, only to be accosted by his no-good father, who comes looking for a handout or to destroy everything, including Maggie. But Sonny isn't about to let that happen. Mary says, I resisted buying any, but did check out a couple of books. Yay! Started The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. Thriller. I might have read something by her, not very far into, but good so far. Murder. Yes. I hope you enjoy it. Summers are for thrillers, in my humble opinion. Madeline has always been extremely close to her family, so she is shocked when her older brother gets engaged without including them or even giving them a heads up. Mads has never been the biggest fan of his fiancée, Katie, so in order to remain one happy family, she's determined to bond with Katie before the big day, which includes reluctantly agreeing to be a bridesmaid. During a late-night bridesmaids-only game of truth or dare, Mads is cornered into revealing she has never been kissed or even been on a date, which spurs the other girls to unite on a quest to find Mads the perfect plus one for the wedding. Next thing she knows, she's navigating a series of disastrous dates that include some major misunderstandings and mishaps. All of a sudden, Mads finds her heart tugged in different directions. To Connor, the boy next door who knows her best. To Marco, the former classmate who knows how to push all her buttons. And to some of the new suitors who surprisingly aren't all bad. As the wedding draws nearer, Mads has to figure out who she wants most as a dance partner while also making sure her brother isn't making the biggest mistake of his life. You know, I kind of like that, they're looking for a dance partner, not necessarily this is the one true love kind of thing. How novel. Of Silver and Secrets, Time's Lost Treasures, book number 2 by Michelle Grip. In 1889 Victorian England, redundant, Eva Inman is haunted by guilt over her parents' deaths while struggling to care for her blind sister and manage her family's crumbling estate. With the tax deadline looming, Eva's situation looks dire until an ancient silver ring is unearthed on the property. Despite superstitions regarding a warning against disturbing the supposedly cursed acres, Eva's need for funds ignites her curiosity about the potential of finding more buried relics. Cambridge professor Bram Webb must prove a legendary Christian Roman settlement exists, or he'll risk exposing his uncle's deteriorating memory, and they'll both lose their positions. Then Eva steps into his office with the prospect of an archaeological dig that might lead to the very evidence Bram requires, provided he and Eva can set aside painful memories of a time they would rather forget. As the dig forces the two to confront their pasts, the work becomes fraught with challenges that threaten Eva's and Bram's hopes, as well as the growing attraction between them. Have you ever watched Time Team? I love Time Team. And it seems like anywhere you walk in a field in Britain, you're finding Roman artifacts. I love that. End of that row. Oh, we've got a guy losing his shirt. Those darn buttons. Or are they snaps? That looks a little different. Whoa. Keeping the Score, book 2 in the New Jersey Storm series by Kelly Jamieson. And look at that. They list all the tropes. You don't even need to read the book. I have to slide down here for the, oops, we can go to here. Ford, my brain is hardwired to hockey, to train hard, to win, to be the best. I don't date, I basically live and breathe hockey, and I plan everything until I find a newborn baby outside my apartment. It's like something out of a movie, except she's mine and this is my life. I panic. The only person I know who can help is my neighbor, Andy. But in doing so, I risk inviting her into my life. So far, she's been a friend. But I'm out of my depth and losing control. Now with every late night together, we feel like a family, and I can see the lines blurring. Speaking of hockey, Stanley Cup starts tonight. Andy, I have no idea how to look after a baby, but Ford has always come through for me. So now it's my turn to help. It's only temporary. I know Ford is a pinup, really a hockey player, but I've never been attracted to him until now. Seeing him holding his tiny daughter is melting my heart. I thought I had no interest in love and settling down, but I'm catching feelings. I just know this setup won't last forever, but I'm scared of what will happen when things go back to normal. ... But they don't mention with your hockey player people are the missing teeth. It's a thing. Just saying. Jane Ann Krentz has a new one, writing as Jane Castle. I did check this. This is a new one. 11th in the Harmony series. Leona Griffin is at the height of her career as a para-archaeologist thanks to a recent underworld discovery. Her high profile attracts the attention of an organization of elite, secretive collectors. They want her to authenticate the artifacts that aspiring members submit as evidence to join their group. The ceremony takes place at a glittering reception where Leona is shocked to discover that one of the relics is a powerful old-world object known as Pandora's Box. But she's not the only one interested in that artifact. Oliver Rancourt, a man with a unique talent, they say you never see him coming, is also there. Leona knows she must not underestimate him. Attempting to make a discreet exit, she stumbles over the body of a waiter wearing the emblem of a dangerous cult. Because when you're a dangerous cult, you show it off. Before she can alert authorities, a police raid sends their reception into chaos. To avoid being arrested, Leona slips away with Oliver, a risky decision that gets her fired. Now forced to work together, Leona and Oliver pursue an investigation that leads them to the town of Lost Creek, where the locals are obsessed with a chilling legend involving a long-dead cult leader and illicit paranormal experiments. But Leona knows the real danger may be the irresistible attraction between herself and Oliver. Here's another one in the women's fiction category, Wendy Wax. I have read maybe the first 3, maybe 4. In connected stories here. This is called Just Beachy. After losing her longtime acting gig on the hit show Murder 101, Sydney Ryan decides she needs a break from Hollywood politics. She heads to Treasure Island, Florida, where her grandmother has been visiting and now refuses to leave. Sydney's plan to lie low for a bit quickly goes awry, though, as she is swept up in her grandmother's now flourishing social life. Grand not only bought a new house in Casas de Flores, she's also helping her neighbor Myra open a bookstore in Paso Grill. But when someone breaks into Grand's house repeatedly, Sydney realizes her grandmother is keeping something from her. Determined to ferret out the truth and protect her grandmother, Sydney enlists the help of the 10 Beach Road ladies and Luke, a local police officer who was once her high school crush. While Sydney puts her television crime-solving skills to the test, she decides to act on the sizzling chemistry between herself and Luke. And as Sydney spends more sunsets toasting to true friends and new romance, she begins to wonder if the sun is setting on her time in Hollywood, and if this town could be the dawn of a new chapter. Which reminds me, I haven't read one of those in a few years. I probably should add that. I should add that to the TBR. Maybe in July. Family and Other Calamities by Leslie Gray Streeter. Entertainment journalist Don Roberts, has a lot to work through. A widow's grief, betrayals of family and friends, and scandals that almost tanked her reputation. Not that Dawn dwells on the past, well, hardly. When she returns to Baltimore with her husband's ashes, she can't avoid it. In fact, she's diving into decades of backstabbing and treachery for her first trip home in years. She's looking at you, Joe Perkins, her former mentor, whose explosive expose about big city corruption is being turned into a slanderous movie, is also back in town. The villain of the piece, Dawn. The good news is that this could all be a chance to reset, heal family wounds, admit to her own mistakes, and maybe even reconnect with the one who got away. Oh, and get even with Joe any way she can. With the surprising help of an up-and-coming journalist and a legendary R&B diva, Dawn will finally set the record straight. Returning home might just be the biggest story in Dawn's life. A fresh start and happy ending she never expected. End of that road. We're running out of time. Let's do a drive-by, and then we'll go back and see what we can get to. Eat, Post, Like by Emily Arden Wells. It's a debut novel of self-discovery, resilience, and the transformative power of food. Well, heck, I'm in. Claire Casey's Had Enough by Liz Alterman. Back in the day, Claire had dreamed she was going to be somebody. Now, a 40-something mom of 3, 4 if you count her husband, as one does. Drowning in laundry and PTA chores with a job she can't stand, she's finally had enough. They're calling this a mom-com. All This Can Be True by Jen Mikulski for fans of Modern Lovers and the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This Kind of Love by Ashley Detweiler for fans of Emily Henry and Taylor Jenkins Reid. A contemporary romance about returning home to confront past heartbreak, family ties, and the allure of a second chance at love, which is what pretty much all these books are. Battle of the Bookstores by Allie Brady. Rivalry and romance spark between two bookstore managers who are opposites in every way find themselves competing for the same promotion. Sort of like You've Got Mail, I suppose. All's Fair in Love and Pickleball by Kate Spencer. Pickleball rivalry? Sure. Falling for your fake boyfriend? Now that's a surprise. Not really. There's a lot of fake boyfriend stuff out there. Alice Chen's Reality Check by Kara Liu and Jennifer Young. Fake dating plus reality TV drama plus murder mystery equals absolutely addictive read. In this sizzling rom-com perfect for fans of Dial A for Aunties and one to watch, a reality show contestant must fake date her rival while solving a murder mystery on set. And that is what we have for today. Have you noticed, look at the friendship fling here? Family and Other Calamities. And All's Fair in Love and Pickleball. Covers are very similar now in that regard. Less of the faceless people and more of that. Interesting. I just notice things. Sometimes I don't notice things. Mary says, food will definitely transform you if you eat too much of it. You, very true. And she says, who is lucky enough to have two bookstores in one town? I know. They, like bead stores, seem to be a dying breed. Yep, we don't have any bead stores anymore. There's some stores that I think are carrying some beads, but they're not. We don't have a bead store anymore. I agree. All right, that is all we have for today. Tomorrow we'll be looking at fantasy and science fiction. I appreciate you guys watching. Mary, thank you for playing with me. You're a good friend. No sprints tonight. Our next sprints are tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. And Maria says, thanks so much. See you later, I hope. Yeah, it's been kind of busy. I haven't been able to tune in. I apologize. All right. Have a very good day and night and read good books. And as the banner says, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Have a good day. God bless.